I think the potential of what Bitcoin represents is the foundation of everything for digital life for the rest of the century.
What is an NFT?
So to me, an NFT is actually just digital property rights without any middlemen. It's completely reliant on whatever chain it's on. So if you have an NFT on something like Ethereum or Polygon, there's no other middleman. It's just the chain says that you own that particular digital information. If it's in your wallet, you own it.
What is the metaverse?
The metaverse is really just the next iteration of where digital life is going. So it's kind of, to me, it's gameplay. We usually think of games as something to escape life, but we're kind of seeing it merge with these digital property rights that are defined by blockchain. Suddenly, it's like really possible to have this kind of virtual world where it's work and play intertwined.
What does it mean, play to earn?
So play to earn is really this new kind of phenomenon that's possible because of the blockchain and tokens and settling the actions you do in real life while you're interacting with a blockchain can now lead to basically proof of attention and proof of engagement. And there's actually this very great opportunity for rewards to go back to you as the user. It's a much more honest system, I think, and we're at the early stages of what play to earn can be.
What is DeFi?
DeFi, decentralized finance, it's the bank without the bank. And I love it because I don't have to stand in line anymore. So it's just so much better in so many ways, but it ultimately settles on you having more responsibility relative to the old status quo where you kind of have to offload all the responsibility to a third party, usually the bank or some sort of insurance. With DeFi, ultimately you own those keys, you own those tokens, you've chosen to interact with that platform. And so DeFi can be very amazing and it really is the future. At the same time, you have to pay respect to who you're interacting with. And it's really important to consider that you're going with a blue chip or someone with a proven track record and audited smart contracts. If you're doing that, decentralized finance can be very, very powerful and unlock financial tools for anyone with an internet connection.
What is Bitcoin?
Wow, Bitcoin is amazing. Bitcoin is digital scarcity. It's property rights, all summed up and settled on the most secure blockchain in the world. It's immutable. And what that means is the Bitcoin blockchain is special in that it's the hardest, most difficult one to change. There's no, 20 validators running the network that could collaborate and adjust the terms of the agreement, basically, because ultimately that blockchain is an agreement between every market participant. And so once you have that, Bitcoin unlocks a kind of immutable, transparent system that means more than just value to me. I think the potential of what Bitcoin represents is really a foundational, it's the foundation of everything for digital life for the rest of the century. And so Bitcoin is very, very important.
When you bought your first crypto?
My first crypto was Bitcoin in 2013, and it was something that I wasn't sure about. I think with everybody, the first time you buy it, you're like, I'm not sure what I'm getting into. But I had recognized that it was, I was like, okay, digital value transferring, just like how we transfer information across the internet. Now you can transfer value across digital space and time instantly without any middlemen. That's very, very powerful. So I was like, okay, I'll get a Bitcoin. And then I think I sold it 6 months later and thought I was a genius when it, doubled or something from like $10 to $20, whatever it was. So yeah, that was the first purchase.
Do you think Bitcoin will become the world's reserve currency?
I hope so. I think it has a great potential. I think it could be that or a combination of different cryptocurrencies, but I think the writing is on the wall that the future, though it may seem kind of wild at this time, when you see the trend, the trend is everything's going digital, and it just has so many advantages over the currency that we see in the world today. And you see the mismanagement of the currencies and all the political intrigue. And so I think if it's not Bitcoin, it's something similar or a mix of many of the cryptocurrencies out today. But yeah, Bitcoin is going to be a major player for years to come.
Can you comment on energy consumption?
Yeah, I think energy consumption is definitely a concern in every industry. And I think that the fact that we're on Polygon, where it's really proof of stake, means that we don't have to worry about that quite as much as, say, Bitcoin. But I also think that the energy consumption argument against Bitcoin is pretty flawed, and there's a lot of counter arguments against it. And it's all a trade-off, right? At the end of the day, it's like, what are you getting? If you're securing a better system for trading value, for unlocking it for millions of new people around the world, then I think the trade-off is, it's all relative in some sense.
When you bought your first NFT?
My first NFT was probably CryptoVoxel's land parcel, if I'm not mistaken. And that was probably late 2018, something like that, early 2019. Hard to remember, time flies. But yeah, CryptoVoxel's land parcel was, if not the first, it was one of the first NFTs I bought.
When you started Aavegotchi?
So we started Aavegotchi July of last year, July 2020. And it was kind of the sequel to what we've been working on and working in the NFT space since 2019. I've been in the space and creating different NFT projects, most namely Mintable and then BullionX, and finally Aavegotchi. So it's been an exciting journey. We launched with a bonding curve a few months after we got started. And it's been a decentralized launch that's been kind of a ride with a very eccentric and exciting community all along the way, and ever growing, ever expanding. It's been a lot of fun.
Where Aavegotchi name come from?
So Aavegotchi is a play on Aave, the DeFi protocol, and Tamagotchi, the classic 1990s kind of pet, the first digital pet that really the world came to know. And so the concept was, we wanted to make a better crypto pet. CryptoKitties was kind of a crypto pet, and we wanted to do something that actually had you interact with the pet. That was kind of the initial spark of the whole project, was let's integrate Aave DeFi. So you actually stake Aave tokens into the Aavegotchi like a piggy bank. And then let's make sure you actually have a way to interact with it on chain and pet it and change its clothes and really treat it like a Tamagotchi. So thus the name Aavegotchi.
What wallet do you use?
Mostly MetaMask, but I highly suggest everyone uses their MetaMask with a hardware wallet, Trezor or whatever your preference may be, maybe a Ledger or something else.
What's your favorite centralized crypto exchange?
I honestly do not use any of them. So I don't know. I wouldn't be able to give a fair opinion, but I will say that a lot of our users use Binance, and we have great volume on Binance. So they do a lot of things right, and they've taken criticism for certain things, but at the end of the day, they're leading for a reason.
What's your message to the crypto community?
My message it depends. To the developers in the community, it's take an extra step to do it the hard way. With Aavegotchi, we put everything on chain. We kind of spend that extra when we can. We look at all the tools available, whether it's different standards or just putting in the extra effort. And we feel very proud of our work at the end, no matter whether it makes the market response to it or not. So at the end of the day, we know we're building for longevity, and the NFTs can last. Even if I'm gone tomorrow, the NFTs are completely on chain. So if you have that ability, take the extra effort to secure your NFTs as much as possible. I totally understand that certain NFTs are like high definition 3D files. They can't be stored directly on chain. But then there's solutions like Arweave and IPFS out there that can also help to cross over that spectrum from very high risk, short shelf life NFTs to something that has longevity. So just make the extra effort.
Okay. And finally, what's your message to the non-crypto community? So people, they don't believe in crypto.
Yeah. Just look at the trends. Everything's gone digital, right? Your television, your favorite shows, your favorite games. Everything is digital now, and that's okay. It might be scary for some, or they don't quite understand it, but it can be a lot of fun if you take the time, and you're actually a step ahead of so many people if you put in the effort, put in a couple weekends, and do your due diligence. And obviously there's a lot of scams out there. You have to be careful. But if you go to trusted sources and start there and work your way out, then you put yourself and your family in a position for the future and a good foothold. So I think everybody should be aware of the change that's happening and not put the head in the sand.
Thank you, Jess.
Thank you.